So I thought of another idea. Why not that I go to a conference where I can meet hundreds of people right away? Perfect. But the conference tickets are so expensive. So I call a magazine company back in Taiwan and I say, hey, this is amazing conference in New York. Do you want someone to cover the story for free? I call the conference. I say, I'm a reporter from Taiwan. Give me a press ticket. I want to cover a story for a conference. And I got in the conference.
You'll spend 80,000 hours at work. You're here because you want those hours to count. Hi, I'm Zoe Schofield.
And I'm Erica Sosner. A warm welcome to the Career Equation podcast. On this podcast, we take time out from our award-winning careers consultancy to share a game-changing formula to help you solve the sum of your life.
Each week, we and our guests use the Career Equation to explore their story so far and help them unlock the secrets of a fulfilling career. Before we dive in, we want to take a moment to just reach out and say a huge thank you to all of you tuning in for sharing episodes and sending us your lovely messages. It really does mean the world to us to know that there is somebody out there, someone loving what we're creating. So don't forget to leave us a review if you do love it. And now let's dive into today's episode. I'm absolutely delighted today to be joined by Anya Cheng, who's the founder and CEO of Taelor, an AI-powered men's clothing subscription service providing sustainable fashion. Anya's a Silicon Valley entrepreneur. She's been recognized among Girls in Tech 40 under 40 for her expertise in tech product management and marketing. And Anya's played a pivotal role in launching Facebook and Instagram shopping at Meta, led new business expansion at eBay, and helped McDonald's grow global food delivery. And with a master's in integrated marketing communications and a business MBA, she clearly has the foundations for launching new ideas. But I'm really keen to explore the challenges she's faced as she left education, had to find work before her visa expired, and with English as a second language. And what personal qualities and strengths she's drawn on to make it in an entrepreneurial landscape. And I'm sure, like me, you're curious to know more about her business Taelor and what it is trying to achieve. So let's dive in. Welcome, Anya. I'm absolutely thrilled to have this opportunity to chat with you today. And I'm sure our listeners will be super curious to know more about Taelor, your current business, and what really sits at its heart. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. When I was in Meta and eBay, I was the only few female leaders on the team. So I felt a little bit imposter syndrome. I want to look great. So I tried some subscription boxes like Stitch Fix, which you have to buy from every single shipment. And I tried some rental company, like Rent the Runway or Newly by Urban Outfitter. At that time, most of them require you to browsing through thousands of garments to pick your own thing. And I realized most of fashion companies seems are in for people who are into fashion. Now for busy me, just want to get ready for the day and be successful. So I started doing research like a little more other people think like me. Hate shopping, hate laundry, but need to look good. So then we start Taelor. We use AI to pick the perfect outfit to make men stand out. Our AI picks something and the item are clean and ready to wear. They get a box of clothes which already mix and match with a perfect outfit. They wear for a couple of weeks. Once they are done, they can buy what they love with a discount because it's pre-owned, but still like new. Or they can return the dirty clothes and we send to a warehouse here in the Bay Area. We wash them and send to other people. And in a few days, they get another shipment. So no more shopping or laundry ever again.
I mean, that's unique and it's something that I haven't really heard much about before. So I'm curious to know for your own continued sort of personal growth and development, what's kind of live for you in that respect right now?
Yeah, I think I'm a new founder. Like even though I almost 20 years in careers and did a lot of jobs in big tech companies, but it's my first time really actually launching my own business. So there's a lot to be learned to be a founder. But during the journey, I start trying to more and more believe in myself that I know better than other people. Just be yourself.
I would imagine actually in terms of continued stretch for you, that actually sharing that with other young entrepreneurs that are getting started and a little bit frightened and overwhelmed by what lies ahead would be a great place for you to share that knowledge and almost mentor other entrepreneurs into that space, because it must be super daunting for them as well. So what I'd love to do, if it's okay with you, is to dive in through our conversation today into 4 key memories or moments in your story, your career so far, that really help show us your own unique sort of thriving zone. And we call that the career equation. And so for those of you that don't know what the career equation is, and for Anya, what we're saying is the career equation is a simple and practical way for us to understand what our thriving zone is as an individual. And there are just 4 simple key components of a thriving career. And the first one is skills. So we want to be playing to our skills and strengths that we love using regularly throughout our working day. The second component is passion. So a subject, a topic, an industry, a challenge that we love to be in and around. The third component is impact. So we want our work to have an impact in a way that's meaningful for us as a person. And the fourth component is environmental fit. So we want to be doing all of that stuff in an environment that helps us to be at our best. All kind of things goes into environment, from the structure of the company, whether it's big, small, indoors, outdoors, lots of interesting collaborative people, rules and regulations, great coffee, great tech. All those sorts of things go into making up a wonderful environment for us to thrive. So we want to make sure there's minimal friction in that environment with our sort of personality. So through those 4 components, skill, passion, impact, and environment, we can hone in on our thriving zone. So what I'd love to do today is just explore 4 simple questions that will just tap into some memories of your career that help us show what Anya's thriving zone is. And then we can articulate that at the end.
Sounds great.
So the first kind of moment or memory that I'd like you to think about is a time in your life, perhaps in your early career or in your early life, where you thought, from a skills point of view, oh my gosh, I'm really good at this.
I'm always a connector. Whenever they are not sure who they can talk to, they come to me, and I always know someone. My first job was a reporter because I'm always loving to meet new people and connecting people. So I remember the last year when I started the companies at Taelor, this AI company, I was first time that I have to do fundraising, which is very different from the corporate world. In corporate world, you have budget approved by your VP, and then you start using a budget to hire people to do things. A similar thing, but in startup, you don't have someone give you a budget. You have to go and fundraise and ask for your investor to give you the budget. So then you can fulfill the objective. And I reached out to a professor back in University of Chicago, where I got my MBA from. And the professor connected me to a student of him. And when I reached out to a student who is a founder, I forgot that I was asking him for an investor referral. So in the conversation, I was genuinely curious about his business, which is AI security company. So after a conversation, I introduced him a whole bunch of my friends, or like loose connecting friends who are like police officers or other security companies. Or when I was in Meta, I helped to build Facebook connectivity in Africa. So we have bodyguard with us. So I connect him, my bodyguard. And then a few weeks after, he came back to me and said, Anya, thank you so much for those referrals. It's so helpful. And by the way, what did you ask me? Were trying to ask me during our one-on-one conversation. I was like, I forgot. I was trying to ask you for investor contacts. So then he contacted me with with his investor. And in half an hour, we raised $1 million from the conversation. So you never know where you will use your superpower.
Gosh, that's quite some conversation. And I'm curious because I know that it was probably quite challenging for you then when you first arrived in the States. What skills did you draw on to nail those first jobs?
Grew up in Taiwan, and then I came to the US more than 15 years ago, went to Northwestern University, got my master's degree in marketing. And unfortunately, I graduated in 2008 when Lehman Brothers went bankruptcy right after that. There was no job anywhere, the unemployment rate is over 11%. And I didn't even get any school interview, on campus interview. So I will wait outside the building in other departments. And whenever the recruiter came out of other departments, then I would deliver my resume, say, hey, I'm Anya. I'm not a student from this department, but this is my resume. And most of people think you are crazy. Who is going to do that? But looking back, because the only job I had before the master's degree was a reporter, so for waiting for people outside is actually a simple thing that I could do. But with that skill set, it allowed me to feel like there is still hope ahead of me. So then you're willing to try again. In fact, I didn't get any job interview from the ambush of a recruiter. So it was useless. But it was that hope, believing that I still have a chance, that carried me to try again and again, and eventually got a job. So after waiting for outside, people say, no, you're dumb, that you have to do networking. Job cold calling isn't a good thing. You have to, someone referred you. But I didn't know anyone in the US. That's not true. I was a student, so I kind of know every professor in the school. No, they don't know me, but I know them, right? So I knocked on the door of every professor. That was before COVID, so everyone was in the room. One day there's a professor say, hey, I don't know you. I cannot refer you any job, but tomorrow I'm going to hosting a panel and you're welcome to come. In fact, you can bring more students. It will be great. We need more people in the room. So I went on the speech. I didn't understand anything the speaker said. My English was really bad. And I approached the speaker in the end. I asked her, hi, this is amazing speaker. So she connected me to the recruiter in the company and I went on an interview. After the interview, I thought this is perfect. It was a magazine company and I was a reporter before and I got a degree in marketing and they are hiring someone in marketing. I think this is perfect. Few weeks went by, I called the recruiter, follow up, and the recruiter told me, please stop calling me because I am laid off. So I asked her, oh, since you have nothing to do now, do you want to grab a coffee? She said yes. And during the conversation, she told me a lot about the company. And she told me also one thing. She said, hey, bigger city might have more job, and New York and LA are bigger city than Chicago. Do you want to go? So with that idea in mind, I print out 2,000 alumni from my school department. I went on New York and LA for 2 months. I stay in different people's couches over the time. Every few days, switch to another couches. And I start reaching out to the alumni. And unfortunately, not a lot of people hiring, but I was very interested in media company at the time. So I bought newspapers from the street. One day I was getting out of an interview, which got rejected again. It was snowing in New York. And so my heel was high. My feet was soaked. I was so cold and tired. And it was snowing. So I was trying to zip in between newsstand to avoid the snow and the rain. And I saw newspaper on the newsstand. It all say, publisher name. So if you want advertise, call this number. Perfect. So I bought all the newspaper. I went back to home, which is not my home, my friend's couch. And then I start calling each of the publisher. And turned out that I met with CEO of New York Times, VP of CNN and ESPN, every major media company executive. But it was too slow because you can only get one by one. So I thought of another idea. Why not that I go to a conference where I can meet hundreds of people right away? Perfect. But the conference tickets are so expensive. So I call a magazine company back in Taiwan and I say, hey, this is amazing conference in New York. Do you want someone to cover the story for free? They say yes. I call the conference. I say, I'm a reporter from Taiwan. Give me a press tickets. I want to cover a story for a conference. And I got in the conference. So again, there I met hundreds of people, got plenty of interview, but no one was hiring. So I think I realized again, my skill set, which is at that time, I only know about being a reporter. And I only know about finding people because that was my previous skill set being a reporter. And then so I went back to Chicago and I learned a lot during the journey, even though I didn't get a job. So I put together a business plan. I went interview the salon owners and farmers who are the magazine readers. I went out present a business plan. And she asked me if I want to be a contractor. And I didn't know what contractor mean. My English was really bad. So I said yes. I went home, I Googled contractor, and I didn't know why she want me to be a plumber. But I got the because the contractor in the US, a lot of time people mean contractor fixing your houses and toilets. And anyway, I got my first job. But that's also where I discovered that one of my skill set is resilience. And being a reporter, I constantly being rejected again and again. And I'm not afraid of unknown because being a reporter, you are facing unknown every day. So that skill set, I'm still using that even though I'm startup founder and I still use it throughout my career.
Your tenacity to keep going and your resilience was really clearly there for us, as well as your resourcefulness. as a founder, as an entrepreneur, having to draw on that resourcefulness, make those connections, collaborate with new people, sell your ideas and your passion. So that comes through as well. That leads us on to the next part of the equation, the passion element. When you think about this idea of passion and really absolutely loving and caring deeply about what you're doing, what comes to mind for you in your sort of memories when you really love what you're doing?
The passion for me has always been helping people achieve their dream. Personally, that's really close to my heart because throughout the career, it wasn't easy for me. And I didn't came from a wealthy family, came from a blue collar family, and was with a lot of people to help me. And I think that's naturally also I became a connector because every time I see someone, I see another person who can help these persons, and I'm passionate about making friends. And so I think it's just naturally I like to help people. And I think also that's why I started a company, Taelor, because I realized that a lot of people are worried about their outfits or am I looking good? And when you think of the movie, there's always the best friend behind you and help you to fix the ties or help you to change your outfit or tap on your back, say, okay, you're ready to go. Even the superhero movie, there's always a concierge, this butler behind the person. And looking back for my career, I always have someone who are like strangers who help me say, okay, Anya, I think you are ready to go. Like in the story of the recruiter. So that's why I started a company and thinking, hey, how can I help people to look always presentable, ready for their job, ready for their day, ready for their whatever occasion for today, even though they may not know nothing about fashion and they don't even care if they wear red or blue. They just care if this is a closing deal outfit or this getting a job outfit. So I say what I'm passionate about is really to help people to achieve their dream.
You're the superhero of your own career journey. But every great hero has someone by their side, someone who supports them, challenges them, or simply has their back. So who's in your cast? Who plays a starring role in your story? And what roles do they play? Perhaps they're your mentor, your motivator, your truth teller, your quiet cheerleader. Take a moment to reflect. What do they give you? And what do you give them in return? And remember that superheroes, they never fly solo. It comes through in so much what you're saying about people who start out as strangers to you become people that you connect with through using those skills that you have, that tenacity, that resilience, that resourcefulness, that you connect with people and you connect other people together. And that's what I'm hearing from your story, that it isn't just about who is useful to you. It's also about who is useful to each other. How can I connect them? Is that what still fires you now in terms of the business? Those passions about connecting, collaborating, solving problems and helping people to be at their best and follow their dreams.
Yeah. And I think it get into the company's DNA. And I think that still goes to everywhere in this role or in my company, talking about talents. We have someone in Taiwan. She was doing marketing for the company, but I found out that she is actually very good in terms of she always do above and beyond on miscellaneous stuff. She will also have an engineering background, which is very structured processes and details. So I asked her if she wants to actually move to the US and run operations for laundry, warehouse worker and shippings. She said yes. I told my co-founder and she's like, no way. She has no relevant experience. I said, okay, give her a try. I really think she can do it. She's now amazing team member on the team. She run the whole warehouse. She used the engineering background of very structures of processing to build out the processes of operations. And she also using the marketing background, thinking about what customers are looking for. So she used a skill set of she's always go above and beyond because in operation, there's a lot of different things. It's hard to categorize, say, this is a specific thing you will do because in operation, there's no dull moment in warehouse. Anything can happen and have to do problem solving. I think, again, that's how it's in the company DNA. We connect people with their skill set, connect our customer with the resources, and connect brand to find new customers.
How well do you really know the people on your team? Beyond their job title, their CV, their current role, what hidden strengths, skills, and passions are you overlooking? Sometimes your next operations genius is hiding in plain sight, right there, working in marketing. The organisations that thrive are the ones that stay curious about their people. They spot potential where others see limitations, and they create space for talent to grow in unexpected ways. Your future leaders may already be in the building. You just need to look that little bit closer.
That's fabulous. And you're seeing there the opportunity to recognise what sits within someone, their potential. That's so good in terms of recruitment, opportunity, promotions within organisations, to spot potential in people, not necessarily about whether they tick the box in terms of they've got the experience or they've got the complete knowledge, about they've got the potential. So that probably takes us onto the third component quite nicely, which is about a moment when you feel like what I'm doing is really making a difference. It matters. I'm having an impact in a way that really matters to me. What kind of comes to mind for you for that?
Obviously, the impact is that people actually got a job, getting on the amazing closing a deal. So this is definitely the impact, but also the tie back to the core of a business today in a Taelor, the sustainability is in the heart. And if you look at that for corporates, they give you the swag with the logos there. And if you look at your houses, probably you have plenty of those that you never use. And unfortunately, that's the true fact that most of people throw away their swag and interests and never use them. But what if I convince a company to buy as an employee gift and per? Now they can impact 200 employees in the company right away. Every time we partner this, 300 people will be participating to help to save the environment. Again, even though I'm a small startup, but by partnering all these together, now I can make a bigger impact.
So it's that ripple effect of the impact of starting from one. And it comes back again, doesn't it, to that connecting. It's connecting with people and convincing them to come on this journey with you. And I think what I'm curious about is when you leave the office, close down the laptop at the end of the day, what is it that drives you in terms of impact, where you think, yes, I'm successful because I am? Is it that I'm still connecting people? I'm still solving tricky problems. I am making a difference to the world sustainably. Is it those things that drive you in terms of the impact, the results of what you're doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's also why even before starting a company, I have 10 years being a volunteer career coach. I published 2 books. I have 4 online courses that I want to help people that they went through the same journey, and they may be blue collar family. They may not have rich parents or have great connections. Now being a startup founder, I constantly posting and say, hey, we are hiring. And then people just come and help me as well. So I think that's something I love that it's making impact, but also drive me that I see people make an impact for other people's life. And those things come back to help me as well.
In terms of the fourth component then, which is all about helping you to be at your best, kind of want to switch it up a little bit and ask you about a time perhaps in your past where, from an environment point of view, in terms of where and how you were doing your work, that you thought, this really isn't for me. This is tricky and challenging. What comes to mind for you?
The strength and weakness is 2 sides of the same coin. I always told people that the same for me, I am very action driven. So I thrive in an environment where there's really chaotic and messy. But that also means the same thing means that I'm less excited in the environment where it's very well organized and follow the processes. So I remember my time at McDonald's is actually a great company. They are very, very good in operations and very, very good structures. This is how they were able to make the perfect food that everywhere is the same and is perfectly, right? But the reality was also the DNA of the company is really about processes, and that's how they made the food, but that's also how they run the companies. And so it's just a lot of convincing and processing. I realized it's great company, but not something that I can build something from scratch in a chaotic environment where I can really shine and using my connector powers to do so.
So it really comes through for me that you're someone who doesn't thrive in somewhere where it's too rigid and too much structure. So what I'd like to do now with those insights and memories and just the flavor of what we're getting from you is to pull it together in a really succinct little statement. And we call it a career design statement. It basically is your kind of North Star, if you like, for your thriving zone. And all we do is just fill a few gaps in with just some key words that I'd like you to have a go at. It's a first messy draft. You can take it away and then have a go and practice, but it's a sort of way of describing who Anya is in her thriving zone. So I'm going to say some words and you're going to fill the gap with succinct little words. It will come to you. So the first bit is super easy because I'm going to say I, and you will say your name.
Anya Cheng.
So I, Anya Cheng, will use my skills in. So what, say, top 3 skills would you say are super important for you to be using all the time because you love using them?
Connecting people and like knowing what's best practice. I don't know what's the word, but like knowing what's best practice, how business actually run in a very professional and successful and cutting edge environments. That's definitely, I have been using that.
I hear that your entrepreneurship skills, because that encompasses all of the stuff you need. And is there something also about what you've always pulled through in order to get that stuff done?
Yeah, the consistency, the resilience.
And you can play with those because there's loads of words that come into that kind of frame, isn't there? Resilience, tenacity, resourcefulness. You can play with this after. So at the moment, I've got your skills in connecting people, entrepreneurship and resilience, and my passion for. So what would be the sort of bit that fits in that passion bit? Any things that come to mind that you're super passionate about?
I'm always passionate about building something new from scratch. Yeah, when it's nothing there, I want to build something and I want to build it in my way. So I'm also really passionate about how people who come from humble home achieve their dream.
It sounds like really at your heart for you, it is about that, building something new and helping people to realize their dreams. And so when it comes to the environment, what would you say? So we've got, Anya, will use my skills in connecting people, entrepreneurship and resilience, and my passion for building something new and helping people to realize their dreams. What's the impact bit? 2. So is the 2 bit to help people realize their dreams? What else might sit in the impact for you to know this is my thriving zone when it comes to impact?
I like to build something new. So when there's something different has made, I think that I feel that there's an impact. While people think that I do well, I actually really care that it's true that it make a difference for the department and I leave a legacy. Even though I leave, someone's still using my process, someone's still using the framework, someone's still using the campaigns or using the insight. And I think that's something that I deeply care throughout my career.
So what I'm hearing is the passion is about building something new and helping people to realize their dreams. And the impact bit is about making a difference in people's lives and solving tricky problems. So your legacy continues.
Yeah. I probably like solving tricky problem in a company that the legacy does continue. I care if that it really make a difference. So that's stuff like those type of things that I feel passionate about.
It's finding solutions. Ultimately, you're passionate about building something new, finding solutions, helping people to enable them to be the best versions of themselves and to realize their dreams. Okay. And when it comes to an environment, what's the environment that will help you to be at your best? So an environment that is what? Encourage
of building something new and a little bit chaotic, but also it's a growth mindset company or growth mindset environments, which means they are open to change and open to learning and transforms, adopt the environment where appreciate making something different. And the environment there's still a lot of growth potentials. It's not about optimizing for what's already there. It's about that kind of building the foundation for something that is not there yet. Chaotic, but with a growth mindset that appreciates new opportunities to continue to grow. Yeah. Let's see if we can pull this together into something that makes some sort of sense. It'll be a draft. So this is what I'm hearing, and you can play with this after, because ideally you've then got a kind of statement that says, this is who I am when I'm at my best. This is my thriving zone. It's not about the company. It's about Anya. So you'll want to play with this a bit more than what I've got here because we've got a few notes. What I heard was, Anya, will use my skills in connecting people, entrepreneurship and resilience. And my passion for building something new, helping people and finding solutions to help them realize their dreams, to create by solving tricky problems in an environment that is chaotic
with a growth mindset, appreciate new opportunities to continue to grow. So,
you are so good. Oh my God. Throughout my career for those years, I never actually write down the statement. So this is amazing.
I love that you love it. Kind of curious to know, given what we've just said about your statement there in your thriving zone, if I asked you to score yourself out of 10 in terms of how close do you feel you are to that right now, what would you mark yourself out of 10 against that statement?
I would say maybe 8.59. 8.59. Yeah. I think one thing is now I think of that then because what you described is perfect because right now I'm supposed to score 10. But I think that the reason there's 1 point less is because in a statement, my skill set of really knowing what's good or what's structure, what's the best practice. It feel how that made me a little bit itchy every day because I know what's good, but I see that we are not good, but because I have seen what's good. So I think that's a 1 point less in my current role, which is not yet. We haven't grown the company to the level where we can hire a lot of very talented or experienced people. And then because my skill set just came from those big companies, so I know what good looks like. So my hope is that with the company grow to next stage in next year, that we might be into this 10, the score 10 zone for me.
So does the conversation help with those ideas around what's coming up next for the company and what's exciting? Does this process help you yourself?
Yeah, I think the process is amazing. Really help people to think about what they are good at. When I interview people, I always ask the questions of what you are good at and what's your superpower, which is something I truly believe is needed for people who be in the right place. But I didn't have that more detailed framework on what's good, what are you good at really means. It's a skill set, it's your passion, it's the environment, etc. So I think I love that you help me to getting even more narrow down and go get more details and make it more structured and think about what's people's superpower.
Yeah. And that's brilliant because those conversations you'll have then with people will help them find that spot to really use all of their superpowers. I think just wrapping up, I've got 2 questions really. Firstly is if you were to look back and have a word with younger Anya, what message would you give her about her world of work?
Have even more so curiosity. I do love connecting with people and I love meeting people. Being an immigrant and having started my career in the US in a very difficult time, my mind really focused on what's useful, like what. I care a lot more what when earlier in my career. While now I realize that caring more about why is actually a lot more helpful. So just lead with your curiosity and meet with people who you were just curious about, and you might discover the best ideas when you are not looking.
I love that. Be curious, find new ideas. The only other question really is that if people want to find out more about you, find out more about Taelor, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah. So if you want to give a gift card to people who want to help them to look great and achieve their full potentials, you can use a code podcast, just podcast one word to Taelor.style. And to find me, the same thing, you use Anya at Taelor.ai, then you can find me. And we look forward to helping more people to look at your best and achieve their full potentials. But also we look forward to always having additional new talents on the team. So if you are looking for environment like Taelor's and DNA like Taelor's, we will love to work with you.
Lovely. Thank you so much. We will make sure that all of that goes in the show notes. So we'll make sure that those things are there for people to reach out. That really just leaves me to say thank you so much for this conversation. I've loved exploring some moments from your career so far, and I'm sure our listeners will too. So thank you from me.
Yeah, this is really good. I love it so much.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Career Equation podcast.
Stay connected with us on socials for more career insights, behind-the-scenes moments, and updates on upcoming episodes. And if you'd like to work with us, visit the Career Equation website or click the links in the show notes.
Remember, the Career Equation isn't just a podcast, it's a journey towards unlocking your full potential, enjoying your life, and doing remarkable stuff. And don't forget to share your thoughts and feedback with us. Your input shapes the future of our show.
Until next time, keep solving those career equations and pursuing your path to success. This is Erica Sosa
And Zoe Schofield. Signing off.